this next generation is that we need to look at, do we need to create this product? What's its impact? What's it doing to us? That we need to move in that direction, that we can't keep creating businesses just because we've got an amazing idea and not thinking about its impact in the world. Is it needed? Is it creating unnecessary waste? Welcome to episode 7 of the Curious Bee podcast. I'm wanting to respond with this one to a really inspirational woman I've crossed paths with and am about to directly cross paths with, which is super exciting, called Jessica Zweig. She's an American woman and who has had a personal branding agency called Bee and has written the most incredible book called The Light Work, which came to me post my caravan adventure when I'd bought my beach house, and then it arrived at my parents' house actually, and at the perfect time, and just spoke to me so deeply. And I was really surprised it actually arrived, because I didn't even know I was going to receive it. I'd done an incredible 3-hour virtual event that she hosted in 24 that again spoke to me on so many levels. It was just brilliant. Why I like her is that she blends, and this is what I'm going to talk to in this episode, is she is blending business with the woo, or the spiritual thing. And this is my responding. She asked on her Insta story today. Yes, I don't actually follow that many people, because I actually get really, between you and me, she get really, really, really bored with social media. Anyway, so there's very few things that I'm out. Anyway, she shared on her story, what would you like me to do more of on my podcast? And I was thinking about that probably about 2 hours ago. I haven't been able to sleep very well. I think I need to not do computer work, but I'm all fired up. Isn't that cool to be fired up, to be back in front of a computer to start this next journey of my life after so much growth? So I'm super excited. So she'd asked that question, and it got me really thinking about where I'm heading in this next chapter of my life, and my vision, and my values, and my principles around business, and my background as a graphic designer, and all the companies I've worked for. So what I love about, and I highly recommend you listen to her podcast as a woman entrepreneur or a woman business owner, thinking about how I would respond to her, was that I love the way the businesses that she brings on, they're all here for the greater good. So I'll give you a couple of examples. So one company that she did an episode on was Lotus Way Flower Essences. It's totally woo company. But the cool thing, and the thing that stuck with me, is that, so they make beautiful flower essences. Like, everyone knows Rescue Remedy. There we go. That's a flower essence. But the thing that stuck with me is the staff are all being looked after on an energetic level. they actually spend the time in the day, in the beginning of the day, making sure that their staff are always in alignment, that they're centered, because when you're making energetic flower essences, there's an energy in that product. So if your staff aren't centered in their bodies and in their lives, and so there's this real, it's an amazing podcast, and I'll put it in the show notes under here. But I'm so passionate about that we need to move in that direction, that we can't keep creating businesses just because we've got an amazing idea and not thinking about its impact in the world. Is it needed? Is it creating unnecessary waste? And I kind of talked about that in my episode about rubbish, that, are we doing it in looking after the people that are working for us, and how, not just how little can we pay them and how much can I make. So she did this one on fashion, which was great, because we've been through this whole paradigm of the Louis Vuitton bag and the Gucci, however you say it, I'm just so not that person. And the whole fashion thing is such a have that every season it changes colours, wide leg and then skinny leg the next season, and it's all just consumerism. It's kind of, once you see it, it's crazy. It's really empowering to create your own style and cut through that. And I was never an op shopper, but I always was in awe of people who were, and they really pulled it off. So it's great. There was a fantastic episode. Yeah, really cutting and having a look at what it was a while since I listened to it. I binged all of her episodes. Like, they are so, so, so incredible. Look at me, I'm looking at the yeah, exactly, there we go, stuffing our closets full of things we just don't need because we're like, I can't wear all of this season because it was last season's colour. Like, are you for real? And that also leads me on to companies who, like Apple, the iPhone 4, then the iPhone 5, then the iPhone 6. Well, these poor people have just got the iPhone 6, all of a sudden the iPhone 7, and they don't love it anymore because it's not as sexy and brand new as it was last year. Like, where do you get off the bus? It's just creating like a whole lot of waste and consumerism and keeping people stuck in this grind of having to earn all this money to buy the new one and keep up with the Joneses, and oh my goodness, don't get me started. So I love the way she unravels on all that. And yeah, you got to take the power back into your own hands and own who you are and create your own style. And yeah, it's just time, it's time to cut through all this conditioning. Yeah, I love that. And so all her episodes are all about those kind of companies, the impact they're having in the new world, where this is priority. We can't just keep creating businesses for greed. We need to rewind and take that step back and look at, maybe if it's a current business. I'm going to give a really random example. This is what I was thinking about. Was, say if you're a storage company, how could you make that company for the greater good? So could it be helping people actually, do they need to keep a lot of that stuff? Is there an opportunity for an audit of it, helping them sell things, helping them give things away? And then, because we've been through this whole, and I'm not sure if I think it might have been a bit of an agenda behind it, but this whole, yes, I think there probably was, about the whole, there is, businesses, environmental footprint, and that being the greater good. now we've got electric vehicles, and that seems to give businesses this doing the right thing image, and the carbon credits. And another thing that it got me thinking was that, as Kiwis especially, we're so entrepreneurial, right? And we, as women, because I can only relate to that as a mum. So this is really interesting, and I'm sure you can relate if you're a mum. That when you come from, when you go through that journey, you just see opportunities, right? You're like, oh, I've had several friends, create baby clothing companies or baby food, or then I had another customer I did design work for who made, frozen coconut ice cream because their children were intolerant, you know what I mean? Like, so we create all these businesses, which is, but I think we've been through this phase of like, and we're seeing it on what happened and why there's so many products on the market and so much. It's like it's almost like mind blowing. And great that we're so entrepreneurial. That's awesome, but I think there's this next generation is that we need to look at. Do we need to create this product? What's its impact? What's it doing to us creating these businesses? Because another example is that now that I'm in my late 40s and I look at what my friends are doing, they're either still trying to build businesses, hoping that they can exit them for $1 million, or in that figure, and then they can retire, but they're still burning themselves to the core in a traditional business. And is that product and is that business needed good for? It's kind of almost seems old to me, that whole paradigm, and it takes so much from us to build these traditional businesses. And then we've got, on the other hand, I've got friends that are like they're just taking the part-time job and just doing whatever just to pay the bills, but then it's like, you still, our time is really limited here, so we're still to look at a lot of those part-time jobs, you don't get treated particularly well, and what's that doing for your self-esteem as an entrepreneurial woman, if you have come from corporate or had your own business, there's a few kind of stories that aren't so pretty there, because life, you just have to keep growing. That's another thing, is that business that you're in helping you grow. The part-time job isn't making you grow, and I know you don't want to be comfortable. That's another thing. It's, if you're wanting to grow, and we need to do the work and grow in this lifetime, you can't just stay, and be comfortable. So coming back to Jessica, I love her combination of combining businesses for the greater good, and businesses where they are helping us spiritually evolve with their products, with their services. So I love the way she does that. And she also is fully into feminine power and starseeds and aliens and the whole galactic thing. She had a major, that's where it all changed for her. She went through major burnout with her personal branding agency, and then went to Egypt on a trip, and that's the beginning chapter of her book is just like, you feel it. Oh my goodness. So she had a major download, and then went back to her hotel and absolutely thought she was going to die. It was so intense. It's just totally my jam. So I love the combination. It's right up my alley, coming from traditional business, having this spiritual experience that I've had, and then gluing these two together, rubbing my hands into this next chapter of my life. So excited because so excited. Gosh, I think I've said it excited enough, that there is something waiting to birth within me that's gonna be really impactful. And I've just started it right here. This podcast is just helping me. I feel like I'm just helping me just walk all around and put it all together. So Jessica's podcast is called The Spiritual Hustler, because it's not about hustling anymore. It's about really coming home to who you are, creating a life and a business that works around your dream life, and doing your soul's purpose. And I love that. So yeah, awesome. Go and binge them. Very, very cool. Love. Oh yeah, over and out from Curious Bee.